Shalom, my friends, and welcome to another episode of Open the Armory, Open the Boxes. We have a whole bunch of different packages to open here, and I do not know what is in some of them. I forget exactly what is in them. So I thought first, in Open the Armory, Open the Boxes, we would open our armory. In Matthew chapter 7, verse 7, it reads, "Ask, and it shall be given you. Seek, and ye shall find. Knock, and it shall be opened unto you." So if we are in a position where we are seeking something, or there is some desire of our heart, we ought to bring that desire before God. We ought to be careful for nothing, but by everything, by prayer and supplication, let our requests be made known unto God, to ask and to do our part in seeking. So let us go ahead and seek into these different packages, bags and such, and see what we shall find. In the absence of a sword, this knife should be sufficient. So let us go ahead and open the boxes, or this first package in this case. This looks like a familiar picture. You may recognize the size. It is one of my favorite books. And there we have it. The Pilgrim's Progress. This is one of my favorite editions. And you can see it is nice red on the inside, gold leaf, and these different editions are either leather or imitation leather. There's some way to tell the difference. I am not sure how that is. But it's definitely one of my favorite books. John Bunyan wrote it. One of my favorite authors described the experience of Bunyan, saying that when he went to prison for preaching the gospel without a license, in his day in 1670 time, the Church of England required you to have a license to preach. And he noticed that the people who had a license, they preached without power. So he was in a position where he was about to get up to preach. Some guards came, and they said, "If you preach, you'll be arrested." And he went up and preached. He was put in prison. Later they said, "If you promise not to preach, we'll let you free." And he said, "If you release me today, I'll be preaching tomorrow." And he was in jail for quite a while. And while in jail, he wrote this book. And one of my favorite books, The Great Controversy, in it says that while in Bedford jail, he breathed John Bunyan, who wrote this book, breathed the very atmosphere of heaven. And his story about the pilgrims, a pilgrim going from the city of destruction to the celestial city, would lead many to the pathway of life. And elsewhere it talks about how many thought that in putting Bunyan away, his work for souls would have ended, but hundreds and thousands have been led to salvation through the use of this book and the Bible verses that it contains and the Spirit working on their heart. And we likewise do not need to be dictated, restricted by circumstances. We can labor for souls wherever we are. We can write a letter, we can send messages, we can make phone calls, we can use Zoom calls, we can leverage technology, we can put signs on our doors, we can walk out with signs in the streets, whatever it is. If you are anchored in your home, you can go out, you can find some way to share, and you can witness and share with and bless and encourage the people that are around you. So I encourage you to read the Pilgrim's Progress. You can find it online for free. You can find different audiobook versions. If you go to openthearmoury.org, you can purchase one of my favorite audiobook version. Or it's really a special one. There are various versions I like, but this one's special. If we open our armory again, we can read Hebrews 11, verse 13. Speaking of various patriarchs and prophets and children of God in the Old Testament, it says that these all died in faith, not having received the promises, but having seen them afar off, and were persuaded of them, and embraced them, and confessed that they were strangers and pilgrims on the earth. So let us be strangers and pilgrims on the earth, and let us recognize what it says in verse 14, where it is written, "For they that say such things declare plainly that they seek a country. And truly, if they had been mindful of that country from whence they came out, they might have had opportunity to have returned. But now they desire a better country, that is, an heavenly. Wherefore God is not ashamed to be called their God, for he hath prepared for them a city." So we labor to get to that celestial city. We ought to be like Christian, who set out from that city of destruction, which is this world, this Egyptian worldly place we live in, to strive and to walk by faith in the pilgrimage of this life. And we can say like Jacob, when the Pharaoh asked him how old he was, not to say, "Oh, I am 25 years old," or however old you are, but to say the days of the years of my pilgrimage are this many years. Because from the moment we are born on this earth, we are pilgrims and strangers on this land. And perhaps even from even just that moment of conception, our pilgrimage begins in a certain sense. And as we develop, we need to faithfully make progress. Go forward should be our watchword. Continual advancement our goal. So thank you for watching. This has been Open the Armory, Open the Boxes. Remember to open the armory, because the Bible is the armory where we may equip for the struggle. Shalom, my friends.